Carlos, how are you? So good to see you again. Thank you for coming back because we have something really special for you, which is our keynote speaker to end the program. And I want to tell you a little bit about Dr. Grisel Y. Acosta. Her full bio is in the program. Oh, and before I forget, in your folder, there is a QR code that will lead you to a survey. And we really ask that you take the time to fill out the survey. This survey will give us very important information on how to make this an even better event next year. So this was our first time and we think we did a great job, but when people on the outside, you're going to give us more feedback. So going back to what's really important though. So I want to talk a little bit about Dr. Grisel Y. Acosta, and her full bio is in the program, but I want to give you some snippets of things that I thought were really important and struck a chord with me anyway. So Dr. Grisel Y. Acosta is an Afro-Latinx queer full professor at the City University of New York, Bronx Community College. Her poetry collection, Things to Pack on the Way to Everywhere, was a 2020 finalist for the Andres Montoyo Poetry Prize and was published in Get Fresh Books in 2021. She's the editor of Latina Outsiders Remaking Latina Identity, an anthology featuring over 30 scholarly and creative works by Latinas from throughout the United States. Her selective creative works can be found in the Baffler, Platform Review, Gathering of the Tribe magazine, Best American Poetry, Speculative Poetry by BIPOC Poets, Speculative Fiction for Dreamers, a Latinx anthology, Split This Rock, In Full Color, a collection of stories by women of color, just to name a few. She received her PhD in English Latinx literature from the University of Texas at San Antonio and has presented her creative and scholarly works all over the world. She's a Geraldine Dodge Foundation poet, a Macondo Fellow, and the creative writing editor at Chicana Latina Studies Journal. At CUNY, she has been a part of diversity and inclusion reform at BCC for several years and has held several chair positions within the Mellon Foundation-funded Black Race and Ethnic Studies Initiative Commission. Her work is dedicated to her own Colombian and Cuban parents, who were major community leaders in Chicago's Logan Square neighborhood when it was majority Latinx. She is the first person in her family to be born in the United States. Most recently, Dr. Acosta has been appointed as coordinator for the new Black and Latinx liberal arts option at BCC. So with that, I want to bring another Wonder Woman to the podium to speak to us. Doctora.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. And I just want to say something. ¿Cómo están, mi gente? ¿Están bien? How are you feeling today at the end of this wonderful, wonderful day, comadres y compadres? How are you feeling? Oh, no. How are you feeling? Yes, this has been an exciting and invigorating day. And I have to thank the wonderful people who made this possible. First and foremost, I have to thank Leidy Pichardo and Luchy Martich, okay, the co-chairs of the historic event. I want to thank Gloria Rodriguez, who asked me to speak here today, and the entire conference planning committee, who have taken such good care of us today, haven't they? Thank you. Thank you. I'm so lucky and honored to be among these incredible women. Gracias por todo, hermanas. I also want to speak and remind us of the words of previous talks I already saw and bring them into this space. I couldn't see all of them as I have not found a way to clone myself yet. I imagine that would only bring me problems. But the talks that I saw were very, very inspirational. So I just want to bring a few of their words into the space. Dr. De Filippis said, it takes time to see changes. And we stand on the shoulders of many other folks, yes? I want to bring into the space my grandmother, whose name was Justicia. Not even joking. Okay. Dr. Lisette Delgado Cruzata, she reminded us that diversity in the sciences actually creates better science and better methods. Emily Jimenez and Jessie Perez reminded us that Latinas are the future. I would say the present too. And Patricia Cazorla and Nancy Saleme, they reminded us that public art gives voice to the outcast. So I want to thank all of you for your expertise. I will sit with it for a very long time, and the learning will definitely carry me further along my path. Today, I echo the words of Carmen Perez, National Co-Chair of the 2017 Women's March on Washington, and say, today I stand here as an Afro-Latinx queer woman. It has taken me my 51 years to be able to say that proudly to a group of my peers. And my role in higher education has informed so much of that pride. I want you to take a minute to think about two things. First, I want you to think about what brought you to this path, the path of the Latin in higher ed. Was it your own desire for knowledge, or a parent who encouraged you, or your love for teaching and guiding, or a sibling, friend, or family member who inspired you, or someone who saw who you were and reflected it back to you? Hold whatever it was that brought you to your current position in this world. Hold it as if it were a small sun in your hand, held next to your heart, a life source of energy and warmth. Second, and this is a little bit unpleasant, but I'll turn it around. Stay with me. Second, think about the people who may not have understood the power that you brought into the room. The people who simply did not see you or your vision just because you are Latina. Take that thought and imagine that sun energy that you own enveloping it, making it dissipate into the ether. That image that I just described is what all of you have already done. Every day you come into academia and deliver as leaders, as scholars, as innovators. I am in awe of all of you, and you inspire me. If someone had told me as a child that years later as an adult, I'd have the opportunity to address a room full of Latina scholars and leaders, I would have had a very hard time imagining it. When I was younger, I didn't often see Latina leaders, professors, and such in the United States. They were rare in US professional settings, but I saw them everywhere else. They were community leaders, they were leaders of households, they were the women who make everything run smoothly, but they were rarely at the top here in the US. That has changed. We are everywhere now. Were you aware that we're even more progressive than our hermanos? Latinas have outvoted Latino men generally, and we have voted for progressive candidates at much higher rates than our compadres, according to Paola Ramos, author of Finding Latinx. We are enrolling in college at higher rates than our hermanos too. How did this happen? Very simply, we have decided to speak. We have decided to open our mouths and speak. There is a tradition in many Latinx households that, in my opinion, has its pluses and its minuses. And the tradición that I'm speaking of is that of humility. We have learned in some of our households to be humble about who we are and what we do. And this often translates into silent women. I saw this a lot while earning my PhD in Texas. I saw it even more within my own family, among some of the women I grew up with in church. And I especially saw it in department meetings at the various colleges I've worked at. Silent women of color who didn't dare speak for fear that they would incur the wrath of men, bigots, or other naysayers who were offended at their existence. And they weren't wrong. When you take up space as a woman, as a Latina, it does upset a lot of people, and it can affect your career. However, I am here to tell you that in my life, speaking up, sharing what I know, owning what I know, and contributing is exactly what has allowed me to be here today. Oh yes, there are folks who have not liked what I say or the expertise that I share and how that expertise has translated into action, but they have dissipated into the ether of my sun energy. There is a great monologue written by Clenisha D. Sibley that talks about the Charleston shooting, where a mother had to cover her child and play dead in order to survive the shooting, something that none of us should ever have to do. She states that she too would play dead in other moments, including time among white intellectuals because she feared they wouldn't get her. But after the shooting, no more. Sibley explains that no one should silence themselves and play dead unless someone has the power to take their life away in that moment. If that is not the case, rise and live. Ultimately, speaking up bravely has only brought good things into my life, and you cannot imagine how beautiful it has been to see all of us speaking loudly today to each other, laughing loudly, sharing loudly. What I really want to voice and speak on today is specifically about women in higher education at community colleges. All of our journeys have been different, and I can only speak to my experience as faculty. As you may already know, Latinas are making huge strides in academia. Not only are Latina students enrolling in college at higher rates than ever, Latina scholars are also obtaining tenure track positions at higher rates than ever as well. However, there's still work to be done, especially at the community college level. According to the Pew Research Center, white and Asian students are overrepresented by white and Asian faculty. But Black and Latinx students are underrepresented by Black and Latinx faculty. This statistic includes 2- and 4-year institutions, but if we focus on community colleges, we get a big dose of reality. According to a study by the American Association of University Professors, 87% of community college faculty nationwide are white. Only 3% are Latinx. This is despite the fact that another study found that 22% of community college students nationwide identify as Latinx. In case you're wondering, over 50% identify as any race or ethnicity other than white. Even in California, which has a rich history of Latinx studies and proven support of diverse Latinx faculty, about 60% of community college faculty statewide are white, while 71% of students are from other racial and ethnic backgrounds. At CUNY, the stats are similar. 75% of our students identify as a race or ethnicity other than white. And nearly 40% of our students from all of our community colleges identify as Latinx. Specifically here at BCC, 60% of our students are Latinx, while only 15% of our faculty at BCC are Latinx. By contrast, just saying, at Hostos, 30% of faculty identify as Latinx. In other words, even though Latinxs have more representation in higher education than ever, we are still underrepresented and our students still see very few of us. Remember, that was my experience. So even though we are speaking out and moving forward, too many of our students may not even encounter us in a class. I share these statistics not to put a damper on these festivities today, no. I do this to point to an incredible fact. Despite our humble numbers, we have made a huge impact. Those of you from four-year institutions may be unaware, but those of us at community colleges actually teach a 24-hour teaching load per academic year. That's 12 hours per semester, or about 4 classes per semester, depending on the credit hours of the classes. We are still expected to attend conferences, publish our work, and provide service to our students. And we have done so and will continue to do so. Our Latinx sisters at CUNY community colleges have earned grants, devoted time to our Black race and ethnic studies initiatives, had their books translated into different languages, started scholarships for students in need, brought renowned speakers to their campuses, all while caring for children, caring for elderly parents, and paying student loans that should have been forgiven a long time ago. Our work speaks volumes, and no one can deny it. Some out there try to, but those meaningless words dissipate quickly when faced with the reality of our efforts. That said, we need to amplify the work that we have started here today into a consistent collaboration that speaks even louder, that rings out beyond New York City and extends itself across the nation as a model. We are uniquely positioned to show the world how community colleges and senior colleges can work together the Latina way. So my ask today is that our hermanas at the senior colleges and our hermanas at community colleges see each other as that, hermanas, fellow scholars, equals who have the opportunity to connect and create together. Even though CUNY community college scholars have an incredibly rigorous tenure process, we are often seen as less than. This can become apparent when we travel to conferences where folks assume that we have not published, that we are not informed, that we do not teach classes that incorporate the latest scholarship. As you've seen today in all of these sessions, that is clearly not true. What is true is that when Latinas get together, they will not only have fabulous food and music and gossip, they will also create beauty, imagine the impossible, and make some of that imagination reality. And we will be loud. We will speak to the world and help shape it. My ask today is that we solidify this bond between Latinas at CUNY. We work together, we lift each other up, we share each other's words, we quote each other. We have a community college and senior college exchange that is permanent and strong, where we learn together, amplify our voices together. Let's speak together, unidas. Making sure we listen to the coming generations and create a wide stage for them to speak freely as well. Let's continue this beautiful work. It's wonderful, isn't it? This here today, apenas es el comienzo. This is only the beginning. I love you all. Thank you.
That's a hard act to follow, no? But we have someone who I think is going to follow in some great footsteps with that kind of leadership and thought. So I'd like to ask that Sierra Moncayo, the SGA president of Bronx Community College, come to the stage. She's going to close out our program for today. And again, I want to thank each and every one of you for your dedication, your collegiality, for being a part of the sisterhood, and that we are just trying to make our way through a lot of craziness. Sierra, all you.
Greetings. I want to start off by introducing myself. My name is Sierra Moncayo, and I'm the current president of the Student Government Association here at BCC. I am a CUNY peer leader, a USS delegate, and proud member of both the Male Empowerment Network and Womxn Up. My major is criminal justice with a concentration in forensic psychology. My projected graduation date is spring 2023, and thank you. And I will be transferring to CUNY John Jay in the fall. Thank you. On behalf of not only myself, but all the students across our 29 CUNY campuses, I'd like to thank all of you for attending our first ever Latinas in Higher Education Conference. This was such a tremendous and inspiring event to attend to, whether it was virtual or here on campus. I'm happy I was able to attend and interact and meet so many amazing women. I really want to say how you guys inspired me, because it's amazing to see not only people who look like me, but come from where I come from and are successful and have raised their voice and made their voice heard and known, and can change and can induce change and can induce not only differences, but it gives a long line for the future to show us that you can come from not a great background, you can come from a great background. Opportunities may not be the same, but if you fight for it and if you're strong enough, you can make a way. Now, I did attend some of the sessions and they were amazing. Thank you to everyone who came. I do want to touch on something that really struck me, because as a student in STEM, I'd like to just make one thing known that I found out. Now, there's a such thing as male and female dominated majors, which I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't think should exist, because a woman can do anything a man can do. Yes. Yes, and more. I believe the women, male, female, all that genre, it just does nothing but separate and categorize us. People saying you don't belong here, this is a man's world, you shouldn't be here, this is a man's world. No, this is a woman's world. And to quote the queen herself, Beyonce, who runs the world? Girls. Thank you.
Good afternoon again. Thank you for staying with us. We really appreciate it. So this is a beautiful circle. This morning, our VP greeted us with flowers. And when we were putting together the conference, Leidy and I thought, who would be an ideal person that we admire, has been such an incredible leader, and has really inspired us and motivated us to really look at our students and be here for our students. So we actually want to recognize our wonderful, beautiful VP, Irene Delgado. Please come to the stage. Yes, ma'am. And she's there working, dedicated. You can read it. You can read it. Un aplauso, un aplauso. I had no idea. Oh, wow. For your unwavering support, leadership, and unrelenting guidance in our path towards student success. You deserve it.
This was so amazing. They make it easy. They make it look easy and it's them. So thank you.
You're very welcome. You deserve it.
And these are yours.
Okay. Can we give it up to our beautiful Dr. Grisel Acosta? So proud of this beautiful woman, of her scholarship, leadership, everything that she continues to do here at Bronx Community College. Gracias. I would love to invite all of our presenters that are still here with us. Can you ladies please come up to the podium? We have a special certificate of appreciation for each and every one of you. So please, we want a picture with all of these talented women. Can we hear it a little louder? Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your stories, for sharing your leadership. Susana, for sharing the wonderful scholarship, verdaderamente, that we have a lot of talent in CUNY. And at Delphi University, yes. So let's see if I call your name and you're here, please. Oh, Mr. Roger, did Roger leave? Ah, Roger left, okay. Doctora Nancy Velasquez Torres.
Thank you.
Doctora Lisette Delgado Cruzata. Monica Ortiz Soloway. Is Monica still with us? No, okay. Emily Jimenez? No, okay. Jessica Pérez. Se nos fueron, okay. Nicole, no la veo. Jasmine, where's my Jasmine? Not here? Okay. Vamos a ver. Doctora Cindy Bautista Thomas. Doctora Sandra Castro. There she is. María Etuaru. Yes. Marta Giraldo Riordán. Y Marta. Okay. Doctora Jeanette Alvarez Ortiz. Nuestra bellísima, todas son bellas, pero Susana Rivera. Paola está aquí todavía, Paola. Ok, se me lo da Paola. Y Griselda, también, ok. Patricia Carzola, Patricia. Y Nancy Saleme, Patricia que de BCC, yes. Nuestra doctora Amanda de Jesús. Doctora María Pagán. ¿Está con nosotros la doctora Pagán? Ok. Galiris, no la veo. La doctora Jessica Rivera. Y Cristina Chala. Un aplauso a todas, por favor. Una foto, una foto. And last but certainly not least, Luchy and I would love to thank our planning committee. If the members are here, could you please stand? Our Gloria Rodriguez. Tiffany Duban. Alexin Delgado. Alex, our registration team, amazing. La doctora Jacqueline Polanco. ¿Está Jacqueline aquí todavía? Jacqueline. Yes. Naomi Michelin and the marketing team. Barbara Thompson, who did amazing with the food services and breakfast and lunch. Our cabinet,
Nelson Santana, Anna Molinar, our Latino Association cabinet, who did such an, oh, Nelson está ahí. Es que está oscuro, Nelson, perdóname, mi amor. Saul and public safety. Let's give it up to the public safety team. Yes. Y verdaderamente, everyone who made this conference a success. The president's office, you know, Amira, our president, for his full support from day one. Gloria Velasquez, our spectacular Office of Communications and Marketing, que se votaron con todo esto. Un aplauso to our marketing. Amazing. IT, déjeme decirle una cosa. IT hoy se votó. Un aplauso, IT. Demasiado. Excelencia. I gave them an A+++++++. Los muchachos en Zoom. Amazing. 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 Our moderators, if our moderators are here, please stand. We couldn't have done it without you. You guys are amazing. Amazing. Our SGA, oh, los estudiantes, yes. Yes, they have been, no, demasiado. I wish I could give them extra credit for all their classes because they have been outstanding, ushering, helping, serving, excelencia total. Very professional, very professional. David Levers, our Director of Government Relations and External Affairs, who helped us bring the vendors from outside as well. He couldn't be here with us. I want to please highlight, just 1 second to highlight two special ladies who really were our right and left hands throughout this whole thing from day one when we envisioned everything. And I need for these two women to please come up on stage. La profesora Gloria Rodriguez and Tiffany Duban-Yard. Please come up. Yay! Let me tell you, mujeres guerreras. Mujeres guerreras. Gloria dice, sí, Leidy, lo que tú digas. And Tiffany, no. There's no words. Please, un aplauso a estas dos mujeres extraordinarias. Our vice presidents, our deans, our administration, that they were here throughout the day, they just kept saying, how did you ladies pull it together? Because we can. Ah, yes, right? Because we can. And let me tell you something, that when we say we're going to do something, we're going to do it, and we're going to do it well. And we're going to do it with excellence. And we did it, yes, in 4 months. In 4 months. Thank you to our colleagues from CUNY for all of your support, the HSI network. Qué lindo. Thank you all. Luchy?
I know the lady mentioned some of these names, but I have to say that individually, I have to thank VP Barriadel and AVP Ginsberg for this tremendous work with marketing, and Amy and our IT guy, Sammy, for the great work on the website. Barbara Thompson, I don't know how we'll ever repay you for such an amazing organization, your support. Thank you so much. Saul with public safety, thank you as well. Physical plant services, delivering everything, Tony and Omira. Our beautiful staff in the registration tables, Alexon, Stacy, Maria Pantoja, we're so grateful. Our amazing authors, Jeanette Davila, Grisel Acosta, Barbara Caballero, and Melissa Costa. Thank you for sharing your books with us and allowing to sell it here at the event. Sierra, such a pleasure to have you. Know that it is an honor to have students like you. The way you guys have taken this event and make it your own, supporting it has been amazing, and we are very grateful for that. IT staff, I don't know how to thank you all for everything you've done. Manuel, Andy, Frank, Henry, Nancy, Jacqueline. I know I'm going to forget some names, and I'm going to ask you to forgive me. Majuri, Nilda, everyone. Thank you for your creativity, your flexibility, your service today and the days prior to, and all the members of the Association for Latino faculty and staff that believe in us and support all our craziness and everything that we try to do to motivate. And last but not least, our wonderful chair and president, my sister, my friend, my hermana, I always call her my partner in crime, but also my sister in all these crazy adventures that we do together. I call her a little hurricane because that's what she is. Ian has nothing on her. Thank you for being the wind that a lot of us need when we are battling the day to day. We really appreciate it. We did it. Thank you. Thank you all for coming. Thank you.
Y Luchy, Dr. Daisy Cocco De Filippis said something so beautiful, y nunca se me va a olvidar. When I introduced Luchy to Dr. Daisy, I said to her, quiero que conozca mi mano derecha. And she said, oh no, ella es tu mano izquierda. And she said, you know, she's your left hand. And she goes, ¿sabe por qué? Ahí voy a llorar. No. Porque la mano derecha está más cerca al corazón. Because your left hand is closer to your heart. And she's definitely closer to my heart. Thank you. Gracias a todos. Have a wonderful weekend. We love BCC. Thank you all.
And see you next year.